Hello, and welcome back to the Argyle Financial Controller Leadership Forum. My name is Brittany Sullivan with Argyle, and it's great to have everyone joining us today. A couple of notes before I turn things over to our panel moderator. First, a quick reminder to stop by our sponsors' virtual booths at any time during today's event and for the following week. Our partners are committed to providing you with valuable content and a great overall experience. At any time during today's event, you can visit their virtual booths from the main agenda page, which include complimentary materials and information. For those seeking CPE credit today, you must answer at least 3 polling questions and remain on the session for its duration. Polls can be found under the Polls tab on the right-hand side of your console next to Chat. Afterwards, if you are eligible to receive credit, you will receive an email with a link to your certificates. If you have any questions on credits, please email cpe@argyleforum.com. To ask questions throughout the session, simply type into the chat and we will address your questions at the end of the session. Now, without further delay, I would love to introduce our moderator, Philip Peck, Vice President, Advisor Services and Finance Transformation Practice at Peloton Consulting Group. We're excited to have Philip and our panelists with us for a discussion titled The Digital Financial Controller, Reducing Risk and Building Agility. Welcome, Philip, and over to you.
Brittany, thanks so much. And greetings everyone here in the webinar. I am extremely excited to be moderating this session as this topic is highly relevant for anyone in finance, FP&A, and accounting in that community. And we have truly outstanding finance leaders here today, helping to share their insights and wisdom throughout the discussion. Before we get started, I'm going to start with my background, and then I'll hand it to our two panelists to speak to their background. I'm currently Vice President of Advisory Services and Finance Transformation for Peloton Consulting Group. Our company helps companies drive AI-enabled digital transformation across their enterprise. We help with advisory, consulting, and managed services capabilities across enterprise performance management, enterprise resource management, supply chain management, human capital management, customer experience, analytics, and data management for the cloud. Me personally, I've spent my entire career, 35 plus years in the FP&A, finance, and controllership domain areas, working in various corporate roles as well as management consulting roles, helping organizations explore the art of the possible and adopt leading edge practices across the entirety of FP&A, finance, accounting, and controllership. I'm now going to have our distinguished panelists introduce themselves. Erica, I'd like you to go first, and then Leah, I'll have you go next.
All right, thank you, Philip. I really appreciate that. Hello, good evening and morning to everyone on the call. I am Erica Campbell. I have about 2 decades of finance experience and expertise. I've been with small, medium, large-sized companies, various industries. Right now, I'm working for a company called Finastra. It's a UK-based company, fintech company. We sell software to banks to bring them cloud, to put them on the cloud. I would say that my background, very similar to Philip. It's FP&A, it's finance operations. It's a little bit in the, I would say, risk management space, as well as in the HR space, just to understand more about the human capital and understanding our people, and understanding that the number one reason why people stay and employees stay with a company is because of their manager. I'm most interested in today's conversation, just to hear your feedback and what you've experienced, but also share that, my company and myself, we're early to the party. So there's a lot that we don't know, a lot that we're learning. And so I'm excited to see and have this open dialogue about, just some early indicators and expectations, as well as just kind of hear what's going on in your space. Over to you, Leah.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Philip. My name is Leah. I'm the CFO of Matra Group based in Dubai. Personally, I'm American and a New Jerseyan. 2 years ago, IPO transactional deal brought me from United States to Dubai. This is how I started my life here. My career started from a Big Four accounting firm. Later on, I moved to the corporate finance and corporate management in the Fortune 500 companies to help them to get the finance management. And later on, I went back to the Big Four again to provide the financial advisory and later on business transactional and organizational transactional advisory for big, for companies. Help them to improve the intelligence regarding to the business transactions, including merger and acquisition and IPO, those type of assets, exchange stuff. I'm life is always changing for better. This is my belief. So, for our finance world is the same. AI improve our life for the better, but also bring up the risks. Same thing, right now I'm a CFO of a fintech company, and we are trying to release the gold, backed stable coin to generate another method for people currency for the transactional, for their improve their daily life, also gains investment, like a return. But at the same time, it's new thing. Bring us happy, like a surprise for happiness and excitement, also the risks. So today I'm where the three of us are going to present what we think about the risk for the AI and the digital, like the innovation bring to our career life, and also what the risk is going to be in our mind. Also, we would like to know what you think about it, and also like in your mind what question you have, and we can explore together. Thank you.
Leah, thank you so much. I love the diversity of your backgrounds, because I think we're gonna have a phenomenal session here as we start to tee up the discussions, because each of you bring a slightly different perspective to these highly relevant topics. So as a colleague of mine likes to say, buckle up and let's get going. So question number one, and I'm going to start with you, Erica.
Okay.
As automation and AI become more embedded in finance operations, where are you seeing the biggest new risks emerge, and how are you proactively addressing them?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the biggest single risk is just the reliance on what you see is what you get, and that's right. And so when you rely on information that came from a computer generated or some type of AI platform without reviewing the commentary, without pressure testing that it's correct, I think that it lends room for error. It lends room for inaccuracies that we're signing off on, and it just kind of puts that, for lack of a better term, laziness kind of in us to say, well, I don't have to do anything but hit a button. And I think that the single most most important risk that we have to manage is just that reliance that what we get back is absolutely correct. You still need to read it, you still need to pressure test it, you still need to understand it, it still needs to have logical sense and flow to whatever it is that you're looking at and doing.
That makes complete sense. I'm reminded, as you're speaking, of certain themes or aphorisms, whatever you characterize them as. I'm remembering from my experience, there's elements of trust but verify. So as you're saying, you can't take it at face value. And sometimes we do that in our personal lives when the car dealer goes, well, this is the absolute best deal you ever find, and I'm giving you this extraordinary discount. Trust but verify. Here, to your point, that's on the surface, you can't do that. And I imagine as we speak a little bit further, there's probably tranches of things when we think about the risk. Some are bigger, some are smaller. It's something I'm sure we'll delve into, but I think that's a great start as we kind of wade into the water here around AI and risks that you're seeing. Leah, yeah. I'd love your perspective on the same question.
Okay. To me, when the AI first was introduced to the, our working environment, people were super excited, but at the same time, not only our working environment was discuss this, and also the whole society everywhere was saying, we start to ask this question: do we want to be occupied, by AI, and because there were a lot of discussion back there, whether AI is going to destroy our, human being as a creature. But the thing is, to me, do I want to be, taught, lead, or driven by AI, or I still want my judgment? I want to use AI as a tool, not as my mind, my leader and the guidance. So this is I feel to me is always think back. What is although AI bring a lot of efficiency, used to be 2 days work, especially for those type of human, labor-driven work, account reconciliation, contract review, all those type of stuff, and it can be done like a couple minutes, and boom, we have our results. But you always want to go back to ask the critical question: is this my judgment? Is it rational, correct? We already say a lot of times when AI give us fantastic results in a very quick way, looks very polished, but I always go back to think, whether the logic, we need our human judgment based on our business knowledge and experience to make sure the logic agree to what we think makes sense. We always need to go back to check. Do not over reliance on AI. At least every judgment we make or decision based on AI's assistance also, can be explainable. Not just as a word, especially my team, and I always challenge them. Okay, whatever you give me the report, the pack you give me for me to review, send it to us on the CFO's desk. Can you explain to me how did you get it? Not just to tell me, AI told me to do that, right? This is, to me, is like a human still. We created AI. We're supposed to be let them to make our life easier, but we have to oversmart them.
And that makes complete sense. The output, whatever it is, whatever process we're supporting, whatever decisions we're supporting, it has to pass the sniff test. A fancy word for, like Erica, you and Leah could look at something that your team is producing and go, that just doesn't seem right. Can you help me appreciate how you got to that conclusion? I'm reminded of another story someone once told me, going, hey, Philip, I'm an FP&A leader or a finance leader, but I'm going to pick on FP&A. We're trying to do a more advanced forecast prediction. Let's leverage predictive. Let's leverage some AI. And the individual was raising their hand going, that's all great. And I would love to do that to advance our capabilities, but I don't want a black box. This person said, I want a glass box. I want the ability to see through and have transparency and visibility. At a minimum, ensure that whatever that outcome is being produced is justifiable and has enough of the human element to say, I feel reasonably confident, or hopefully very confident in that decision. So I think that kind of summarizes what, everything that both of you are saying. Let's pivot a little bit and step back from AI a moment, and let's talk about a little bit different topic. Question: controllers have traditionally been viewed as stewards of accuracy and compliance. How is that role evolving as you're now also expected to enable speed and agility across the business? I'll start this one with you, Leah.
Okay, this is a very question, and basically, is every finance leader needs to think about it. Used to be the we also CFO compared to CEO. We always to be the no person. We have to be go back to the very conservative and very make sure our number are validated and are solid. But nowadays AI kind of open the door for improvements for the decision making. On the real-time basis, not like in the old-fashioned controller has to be say, hey, step back. I have to use 1 day, and two, you validate this number, and the CEO, you have to wait for me and do not make any, like a very aggressive assertion to the street, and we cannot support our numbers, or we have to check back to our story. I think nowadays, and we as finance leaders, we still need to make sure our number are sustainable, are very accurate, and back up our story. But at the same time, when AI come over, there is also a big opportunity for our finance person to think about, I can have a tool right now, do not need to wait for 1 or 2 days to validate my general ledger, validate my, planning number, and make sure, our number agree to our planning. And if, variance comes up, and why we spend normally our month-end close is, I believe is in the quickest one is 1 week. Sometimes they run to 2 weeks, stuff like that for the big organization. Right now, it's an opportunity for finance person start to use AI tool to really increase the work efficiency, to be able to give think about use AI to not only generate the improve our accuracy, and also think about use AI to generate the on time a live timely results dashboard for the management, for them to be able to make the quick decision making based on the timely information. It is doable right now. So this is how, I'm like, but at the same time, we have to understand that, in those, faster pacing world, how to make sure we still need to be the gatekeeper, make sure our number is accurate, reflect our operation business reality. But at the same time, boom, senior management will be able to see the real-time data, and to make the best decision for the business and for the shareholder. It's wonderful.
Wow. Is it unpacking all the insights and wisdom? I think you called out, number one, the roles and responsibilities, and what the controllership and the broader function and the individual themselves still need to do, and do exceedingly well. That doesn't go away. What you're sharing with us is, with the power of automation and AI-like capabilities, presumably there is more bandwidth, there's more time. You accelerate your ability to get those things done that you absolutely need to do. But now you're going, wait a minute, I have a chunk of time. How can I add value in the organization? How can I be a better business partner to drive decisions, to add insights, to go investigate, whatever those things are? To your point, that's exciting. Erica, I'd love your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking this exact same thing. It's what more can our controllers do? I think the first thing that comes to mind is, can we have a faster close day, right? I think historically it may have taken us 5 to 7 days to close the books. My current company, it takes us less than 5 days to close the books. With the power of automation and AI type tools, I would be saying to my controller, how can we close the books in 3 days, right? Are there, entries that we can start to post that we know are BAU or routine, half the month, like in the middle of the month? Do we need to wait to the end of the month to kind of see? We should have a run rate and an idea of where it's going to land, unless there's some type of anomaly. And so my question, my push would be, again, can we do more? Can we do it faster? Can we close the books faster? And in addition to that, just understanding, is there more things that we can leverage? Are there more reports that we can get, in terms of like how we're performing? Are there initial analysis that we can get? Finance does most of the analysis in the narrative, but I would love for, the accounting team or the controllership team to come back and say, hey, we were looking at this entry, and now that they have capacity we saw that there is a 10% increase. I think it's related to this, but I just wanted to put it on your radar. How much more valuable would that be if we were able to get, our counterparts in accounting or counterparts in this finance place to start doing some of that, or at least bringing those types of things to our attention? Those are the things that I would look for as we were to progress forward. Some of my asks, just sitting in my spot, would be some of those.
I think that's fantastic. You're touching on a theme where back in the day, we tended to have our functions within the big picture finance. You had your controllership, you had your FP&A, you had your treasury, you had your investor relations, you had internal audit, you had, and I'm missing others. Right. Silos where you, Erica, you, Leah, and others aspire to be more collaborative, but you're like, well, I'm hunkered down till 11 p.m. just doing the routine, what I have to do. And then it's like, oh, I'm done. You're speaking to, here is the real opportunity with that time that's freed up. And it goes both ways, or multiple ways, and even outside of the world of finance, business operations, go out and learn more, or HR, you brought that up earlier, or marketing. That's the excitement now with the power of it. Like we're all smiling, going, yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's where we're going. We're early to the party, but that's where we want to be.
Yeah. Let's aspire, keep going there. Third question here, and this gets a little bit back to our world of AI and the nuances of making it real, making it happen, and striking the balance between the rewards and the risks. When implementing intelligent control frameworks, what's the balance between trusting automation and maintaining human oversight? And how do you decide where that line should be? Erica.
Yeah, I'm going to use that phrase that you used at the beginning. It's trust and verify. I really like that phrase. Here's the deal. I don't think we know yet, right? I don't think we know what that balance should be and what it's going to look like. But I do think if we trust and verify, and, as we test it out, and as we, just kind of start getting into it, getting our hands wet to understand what it is that automation really brings to our function, what capacity is freed up, I think that's when we will actually start to understand and kind of put some metrics around what that balance should be. I don't think we know enough about it yet. I don't think we've integrated it into our work life and into our companies well enough to say what percent is AI and what percent is oversight. I think we're still learning that. And I think that, again, being early to the party, as we start to test and verify, as we start to, get our hands into this, as we start to even integrate AI into this function more so, I think that's when we'll be able to really tell how much capacity is freed up. What are some of the key metrics? What is the human oversight, and how does that play a role or transpose differently into their day-to-day jobs? We're so early. I don't think we know yet. But Leah, what are you thinking?
I totally agree with you, Erica, and I think because AI is such a exciting new tool to us, and this is still so new. We cannot we do not know for the full picture. What is the the boundary? What is our how much we're willing to sacrifice, for our, the opportunity versus risk. But we have to try to get a better, progress and get a better understand regarding to those AI tools and, AI engines and, what they can really do for us, and by testing and monitoring, the results we get by practicing with them and, work with them to understand better and gather more evidence. So in order for us to make the such a type of, a conclusion. But I think what it requires our because this is a new opportunity, very exciting opportunity. We always need to think about what like we wanted the AI to do for us, right? And we set up the goal. And then I think for our traditional role for finance people is especially for the financial leaders, and we are thinking about our finance world. We have our financial knowledge and experience is very helpful. But nowadays, because of the AI, I think it also requires to be able to think like a tech person, and or get a really partner with a technical team to speak the language they understand, and partner with them to develop the tool for our finance to the AI tool to be able to use in our finance world. We need to think like them and educate the technical person step into our world as well, in order for us to be really understand the AI tools newly developed, when it helps us also, they can tackle down to the risk and translate the risk in technical person's eyes to us, in order for us to be able to develop the control mechanism to eliminate those risks. So this is, I think, it's a mutual improvement in our work world, in our the finance management world.
Thank you both. Couple dynamics that I'm hearing loud and clear. One is there isn't one way. Like I think Erica, you started with, hey, this is relatively new. We're all trying to figure this out, and we use we collectively as like the broader finance community, but that speak to the enterprise. It's we in a particular process domain area. I'm responsible for collections. We're figuring things out, or I'm responsible for the annual plan or the forecast. We're figuring it out. We're pressure testing the use cases. I think you both hinted at, and Leah, you really called it out. There's potential risk anywhere, and we can't just run away and say we're not doing it because we're going to avoid all risk, but it's being intentional on those areas where you go, oh, I see the real opportunity with limited risk. Or conversely, the opportunity is so huge, I'm willing to have a certain level of risk that might say, I need more human involvement versus less. But then at the end of the day, we're still figuring out what's that partnership look like. We're all figuring that out. And AI is evolving at an accelerating pace. It's not just a speed, it's an acceleration, speed and velocity. Exciting, but I think where you're speaking and helping the audience here is we need to figure it out together, and it's going to take some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pivot into question 4 here, and it touches a little bit more on the technology. So Leah, glad you gave us a bit of a segue here. With finance ecosystems increasingly cloud-based, what does strong cybersecurity actually look like in practice for finance teams in 2026? Leah, I'll let you start us, and then let Erica chime in.
Okay. So cybersecurity, I believe it is also, one of the, SEC, really watched area for public company. Nowadays, everyone is, pay a lot of attention on the cybersecurity. So I think, when we are using technology more, and also we need to kind of the risk for the being hacked, the financial and private confidential information is being leaked, or the other frauds come over to your organization also start to really increase. So being said that, technology also help us to prevent those risks. So For example, we just for my company, we just have side contract with a company who is specialized in the tackle and the strategy for the new developed cybersecurity prevention, risk prevention for us. What it does is really it's increase the level of the technology and the tools for the newly monitored cybersecurity risk, global wise and cyber base. Also at the same time, I think again when the IT, AI, the technology is advanced, we also need to think like a technical team, not only as a finance person. We need to think about tech person as well in order to prevent those type of risks. So of course the traditional basis for the segregation of duty has to be smartly the same idea, same concept has to be smartly implemented in all the our steps by using such as cloud storage and the other IT involved steps when we doing our day-to-day and financial management. Also, I think finance person is not. We realize the cybersecurity risk, but when again we do not know all the process and all the technical point, who is going to lead into those risks. So working and develop a very understandable language with the technical person, let them to educate them to understand our word is so important to be able to tackle those type of risks on time basis and also effectively.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Something that popped into my mind as you were speaking, Leah, the fundamental principles of following policy, following protocol, doing the right thing, it's even that much more important in this day and age. One thing we know about nefarious characters who are out there trying to hack systems, get into where they should not be, they tend to stay at least at pace with all of us or one step further. So our due diligence and awareness and understanding, we have to be mindful at all times. We need to have lights on and stick with that. I know at my organization, we have our constant training of anything security related, plus many other things as well. But it needs to be top of mind because it's relevant. Erica, how about yourself on this one?
I think the most important thing on this one, and we're living it in our real time, is it's really the being able to hack yourself. And so if you can pressure test and make sure that your employees understand, don't click on the free Starbucks coffee. Don't click on the you just won an award. Don't click on the you've been invited out to Chicago for a free event at the game. Don't click, right? Just understanding that you will always get different types of phishing emails that come in. Understanding that you work for a fintech company, things are in the cloud. People are always going to send you an email externally. Is it real? What information will they have if you say yes or if you double click on the link? And so it's being able to pressure test your employee base so that we understand what hacking really looks like, and then having educational things around it, right? It's having your, call it quarterly compliance training that says, here's what perishing looks like. It's testing us with different types of perishing emails so that we understand why we fail. And you can't make it easy. You have to make it hard. And one of the things that I loved about how my company did is that they sent an email during the holiday season from our manager, our direct manager, saying that your request for vacation was denied. Think about that. Your manager sends you an email saying that your request for vacation is denied. You immediately want to do what? You want to click.
Yes.
Let me click. What do you mean it's denied? What? Why is it denied? And you immediately go into this, what is it? Why is it denied? Let me click on the link and bam, you're exposed. And so those are the level of testing. Those are the level of pressure testing that we're doing at our company. They're not the easy ones that you can pick up on. They're the really hard ones that you have to look at the back of the email after the ad signed. You have to look at who it's coming from. You have to look at, is there any misspelling in the emails? You have to look at, does the header make sense? Those are the tests that we're getting to kind of make sure that we have, put a strong cybersecurity in place. And then it's holding us accountable. So we only get to fail a certain amount of these types of tests before there are, ramifications of a continuous fail. And so now you have accountability that has been added to the employee to say, wait. Before I double click on that email, let me just read it and check. I wouldn't normally receive an email like this. Let me think twice. Because if you get like, let's say 5, you could get up to a disciplinary action resulting in a departure from the company because of the level of exposure that now you're putting us at, being that we are on cloud and that we're cyber tech. So I think it's, for me, what the strong cybersecurity looks like. It looks like making sure that there's an education awareness and accountability with your employee base, that they understand what it means to be hacked. And it starts by hacking yourself and making sure that you've tested that environment to make sure that they understand what to look out for.
That's great perspective. I'm going to put in my mental parking lot here your example. Your request for vacation was denied. The human element, it's a visceral reaction. How dare you deny and you're getting mad and the steam's coming out of your ear.
Why? Reading a text. Did you delete? Did you not approve my vacation? Why? What happened? It's a cyber attack.
Wow.
It's a terrible hacking. The ones that you wouldn't think. I mean, but those are the ones that get us the fastest, right?
Yes. Great perspective. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep us going here as we've got about 10 more minutes. 5th question. Many organizations invest heavily in new technology, but struggle to integrate it effectively. How are you aligning your tech stack with broader transformational goals rather than just layering on new tools?
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen a lot of companies I've worked for, General Electric, ADT, worked for Capital One, TransUnion, a lot of companies I'm at Finastra. One of the things that I can really say about Finastra is that the integration of their use of technology, we have a report. We don't just have 1 report, 2 reports. We have north of 87 reports. So there's a report for almost every aspect of an analysis that you could want to see, because somebody in the back end sitting in our finance ERP area is saying, I don't want you to spend your time building a report. Let me build it for you. Let me, if something is missing, send me a request. Send me a request. Let us build that for you so that you can focus more on the narrative and the analysis, so that you can focus on more that it's, booked to the right account. And so what I appreciate now is, for me, the integration is, how are we using it? What are we doing? If you're putting in an AI tool like, Copilot, are we using it? How are we rewriting those emails to make sure that they're most effective? If you're giving me access to Power BI reports, okay, is it giving me what I need? Can we remodify or change it accordingly as we need to do that? And so I think that for me, when you're talking about AI, when you're talking about automation, it's not just the integration of it, it's the usage. It's the training sessions. It's going behind and saying, here's how we're utilizing. It's reminding people that it's there. It's showing people how to use it. And then it's sending it out saying, this is what was generated from this report so that you can see it. So it's the full gamut of the integration, the education, the acknowledgement, the usage, and then the deployment of it so you can see it from end to end. That is what it looks like for me.
Wow. Wow. You have I won't say world-class, because you could probably say no, Philip. We still have room for improvement. But I think you're painting a pretty positive picture how you and your organization have been able to navigate that. A couple things that popped out immediately was leveraging what you have in the context of the new and advanced capabilities. Like, I think there's a tendency to say, ooh, here's the shiny object. I'm just going to go grab it without an acute appreciation for what's in place across your organization. Are we leveraging it to the max? What are those opportunities to integrate net new, be it AI, be it automation, be it predictive, but doing it in a more intentional way and ensuring that you're doing it the best way that you can. You do it right, such that you deliver the value you're looking for. And I think
don't give me the checkbox. I don't want the checkbox that says we did it. give me the checkbox that says we're using it, and this is how.
Using it and extracting value. Exactly. Leah, how about you?
So I was used to be in the controllership role. Right now I'm sitting in the CFO role. So in the past, it's the same. It's just a transition for my how do I think about the investment in the IT projects? Because again, this is investment spending corporate, the business cash flow, cash outflow. We're always looking for the return on the investment. So in the past, I always try to convince my boss, the CFO or CEO, why I need to, in order to win the, approve of the money to be able to invest in my project. I always think about, what return, how long I can use this capital spending, what a goal I supposed to be achieve by asking this money, and to get the green button in order to receive the fund. Right now I'm sitting in the role, especially, everybody is love to have, regardless, every department, love to have some technical additions to help them to do job better, or to make things quicker. But the thing is, how do we, after the spending, how the spending is going to benefit the company, or on the long run, and integrate the technical spending into the other parts of the technology, whole picture environment, how those type of things can work together with the whole organization. I think normally I would ask those questions. How long? Right now, when I evaluate a project, the capital spending request, normally I think, what can it help me to achieve? Not only in 3 months, in 1 year, but for any capital spending, we are looking at the 3 years time horizon, at least 3 to 5 years, and take a look at the other analysis for how it's going to integrate with my, just like Erica brought up, integrate with my existing system. So in that way, normally it's we do not make the capital spending decision very quickly. We do the thorough analysis. So after those analysis, normally we try to avoid those type of quick approval for the spending, but ends up for certain project cannot be implemented well, and cannot integrate with the whole organization's technology platform. This can help us a lot.
That makes extraordinarily good sense. What you're touching on there, I think those are really guiding principles to help shape the direction you're going, ensuring that you stay on that chosen path. Combine that with something that just triggered as I was thinking, Erica, what you called out, as we're thinking about whatever we're looking to deploy, new technology related processes, you focused on the outcome we're delivering What is the true value? Not necessarily we aspire to be able to do blank, and that may be true, but how do you measure it? So you establish a target, and that could be a core financial metric of we want to improve working capital in these areas, or whatever those we brought up close cycle time before. Whatever those are tangible, those are real. And certainly there's drivers that impact those financial outcomes, but you need to establish those out of the gate such that's relevant, that's real, and that's
measurable,
meaningful and measurable. Great dialogue. All right, next question. For controllers looking to future-proof their function, what mindset shifts or capability upgrades are most critical to thrive in a more digital, AI-enabled finance environment? Leah, I'll let you start on this one.
I think I already repeat. This is a repeating statement. I think I brought it up, for this entire discussion. I think traditional. This is not it's kind of a transformation as well, because the our digital world is here. Its core is financial leaders to start to transform our knowledge. Not only think like a finance person, but we need to, nowadays, when in this age, we need to think like a technical person as well. We have our finance knowledge. We know how business is run. We know what is KPI are, how to evaluate the performance, how to use our finance model to inspire organization, different part of our organization to generate better results. We know this, but at the same time, I think we also need to think about how to use start to get understanding, train ourselves to be able to educate ourselves to gain the a technical knowledge. At least let us be able to work with AI. Let us to understand how to work with them, how to lead them, how to guide them to reach our goal. This is, I think, we need to think about.
100% agree. 100% agree. A phrase, I love the phrases that I co-opt from other people, but then I try to brand it and make it a little bit more mine, but I want to give credit to others. And this is specific to AI, but specific to AI agents. AI agents don't replace finance. They amplify its strategic influence across the business. So, Lee, as you were saying, we need to figure out the symbiotic relationship between us and the enablement that AI gives us. And we're all trying to figure that out, but that's the essence, the North Star, if you will. Erica, your thoughts on this?
I think you both said it very well. The only thing that I would add to what you've already said is, it takes the average person 8 times to hear the same message before change is actually implemented. And so in order for us to implement change, we just got to repeat it. And sometimes the most simplest phrase is how we get there is let automation help you. Let AI help you. Understand how it can help you. Whatever phrase we decide to use as a company, as a function, as a leader, I think it's just repeating it over and over again until change actually takes place. And then once you understand, how it can help you, what it can do for you, educating yourself on it, taking away the fear that it's going to take away your job, right? And instead, adding on what I would say the intelligence of it's going to enable and amplify what you do and how you do it is where we really want to make sure that messaging is. And sometimes that's taking them to LinkedIn and saying, hey, go do this LinkedIn course. Sometimes it's bringing presentations to them. Sometimes it's just talking about it as if it's coming, and it is coming, it's here, and here's what we're going to be doing to implement it. But again, it's just understanding what that simplistic message is and saying it over and over again until they understand that this change is coming and I need to get on board. And I think that is how we really change and transform the digital finance environment to what's coming.
I love, we're close to wrapping here, and you wrapped it with the importance and the predominance, if you will, of change management and adoption. That has to be front and center, and it has to be very, very real and personalized. We're humans, we're individuals. Not everyone receives, internalizes, makes it their own. For the most part, people are different. That's what makes us special. But at the same time, it's a challenge and an opportunity for the organizations who are trying to drive adoption of the better way and drive AI-enabled digital transformation. 1 minute, and we're staying just a little over to ensure we hit our CPE credit time. But I'm going to ask Erica, you first, and then Leah. One takeaway for the audience here. One big picture one, and it could be threaded together. But if one, just something for them to walk away with.
AI is here. Embrace it.
Boom. I love it. That's
it.
Carpe diem. Seize the day. Something like that. Leah, how about you?
Yeah, just do not be scared for anything. Be curious. You will have you will be really rewarded in the future.
Love it. Love those two taglines. So we're at the end. First of all, Erica and Leah, you two are awesome. I love this session. Thanks so much for your insights, experiences, and wisdom. I know that I have some gems and some pretty good takeaways that I hope everyone else in the audience does. Thanks to all the participants who joined. I want all of you to have a great day. Brittany, back to you.
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much for such an insightful panel discussion. And I also want to thank everyone else for joining us today. This session, along with all of today's content, will be available on demand following the event. Our next session will begin shortly at 12:30 Eastern, which will be a keynote titled Scaling Smart, Turning Finance Data into a Growth Engine. Please remain on the stage, and the next session will begin automatically. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you guys again.
Thank you. Bye, Leah. Bye, Philip.
Thank you very much. Bye.